Greetings, Timeless Sagas fans. Today, I am going to take you on a journey through the fascinating history of Mount Rushmore, an iconic symbol of American freedom, democracy, and grandiosity. By the time we're done, you'll have a deeper understanding of how this massive granite sculpture came to be, the controversies surrounding its creation, and its role in shaping the American identity. Picture this, it's the early 20th century, and America is in the midst of a rapid transformation. Cities are booming, technology is advancing, and the nation is eager to assert itself on the world stage. Enter a South Dakota historian by the name of Don Robinson, who had a vision to boost tourism in his home state by carving the likenesses of famous American figures into the Black Hills. And so, the seeds of Mount Rushmore were sown. But before we dive into the construction of the monument, let's take a step back and explore the historical context of the Black Hills. You see, these lands hold great spiritual significance for the Native American tribes in the region, particularly the Lakota Sioux. In fact, the very name Rushmore is a departure from the mountain's original name, the Six Grandfathers. Unfortunately, the conquest and expansion of the United States would lead to the forced removal of the Lakota Sioux from their ancestral lands and the subsequent violation of the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868. This tragic history continues to fuel debates over the legitimacy of Mount Rushmore to this day. Now, let's return to our intrepid historian, Don Robinson. After securing funding from Congress and approval from President Calvin Coolidge, Robinson needed to find a sculptor capable of executing his ambitious vision. Enter Gutzon Borglum, a larger-than-life artist with an equally grandiose personality. If there was ever a man capable of carving 60-foot-tall faces into a mountain, it was Borglum. The sculptor had some ideas of his own, however. He believed that Robinson's initial concept, which included figures like explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, wouldn't resonate with a national audience. Instead, he proposed carving the faces of 4 American presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Each of these leaders, Borglum argued, represented a crucial aspect of the American story: birth, growth, development, and preservation. With a lineup of larger-than-life characters settled, construction on Mount Rushmore began in 1927. The project would become a feat of engineering, perseverance, and artistic vision. Over 400 workers labored for 14 years under the watchful eye of Borglum and, after his death in 1941, his son Lincoln. The workers had to endure harsh weather, dangerous conditions, and the constant threat of rock slides. Yet, miraculously, not a single worker perished during the project. The construction process itself was a fascinating blend of art and engineering. Borglum began by using a technique called pointing, in which a small model of the sculpture was created and then enlarged to the scale of the mountain. To carve the faces, workers first had to blast away the outer layers of granite with dynamite, removing over 450,000 tons of rock in total. After that, they used pneumatic hammers and chisels to create the finer details of the president's likenesses. It's worth noting that the original design of Mount Rushmore was even more ambitious than what we see today. Borglum had initially planned to carve each figure down to their waists, as well as include a massive inscription called the entablature, which would detail the history of the United States. However, due to a lack of funding and Borglum's death, the project was declared complete in 1941 with just the faces finished. Today, Mount Rushmore attracts over 2 million visitors annually, making it one of the most recognizable symbols of the United States. The monument has been featured in countless films, television shows, and even parodies, such as the Mount Rushmore gag in the animated sitcom The Simpsons. But despite its status as a cultural icon, Mount Rushmore remains a subject of controversy and debate. The most significant point of contention is the monument's location in the Black Hills, which, as I mentioned earlier, hold great spiritual importance for the Lakota Sioux and other Native American tribes. In 1980, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in the case of United States v. Sioux Nation of Indians that the land had been taken from the Sioux in violation of the Fort Laramie Treaty. The court awarded the tribes over $100 million in compensation, but the Sioux have refused the money, insisting instead on the return of their ancestral lands. Moreover, some critics argue that the presidents depicted on Mount Rushmore are not universally representative of American values, given that 2 of them, Washington and Jefferson, were slave owners. This has led to calls for the monument to be reimagined or even dismantled, as part of a broader conversation about the role of historical monuments in contemporary society. So, what can we take away from the story of Mount Rushmore? On one hand, it's a testament to human ingenuity, artistic vision, and determination, as hundreds of workers toiled for over a decade to create a colossal tribute to American leadership. on the other hand, it's a painful reminder of the darker aspects of American history, from the displacement of Native American tribes to the legacies of slavery and colonialism. As the debate over Mount Rushmore and other historical monuments continues to unfold, it's essential to remember that history is not a monolithic story, but rather a tapestry of interwoven narratives, both triumphant and tragic. By engaging with these complexities, we can strive to create a more inclusive and empathetic understanding of our shared past, and, in doing so, build a better future. In that, dear Timeless Sagas fans, concludes our journey through the history of Mount Rushmore. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating tales from history. And as always, stay curious and keep exploring the timeless sagas of our world. Until next time.